You are listening to the Lone Star Community Radio on 104.5 KCZW LP Conroe and 106.1 KZCC LP Conroe and worldwide on irlonestar.com.
Lone Star Community Radio is Montgomery County's radio station with talk, music, weather, and traffic for Montgomery County. Have a question, comment about one of our shows? Want to know how to reach a host? Just contact the station on irlonestar.com or call in and leave a message at 936-647-3776. Get involved with your community with Lone Star Community Radio.
Hi, my name is Caroline Cruz. We welcome you this Friday afternoon to the Extension Hour on Lone Star Radio. We're glad that you can join us this afternoon. Everybody's getting ready for the weekend. We have so much to talk to you about today. I don't think it'll fit the hour. If we could go longer, we probably could, but we'll keep it nice and sweet for you. Again, my name is Caroline Cruz. I'm a county extension agent here in Montgomery County. I work for Texas A&M AgriLife Extension Service. I work most closely with the 4-H Youth Development Program. And here joining me today in the studio for the Extension Hour, I have some 4-H'ers from Montgomery County 4-H. And we're going to introduce ourselves real quickly. Some of us are repeat customers here on the Extension Hour, and we have a couple of newer folks here with us today. So we're going to kind of go around the table and just say hi real quick. Sydney.
Hi.
We've got JC.
Hi.
Gracie.
Hey.
And Dean.
Hey.
All right, so summertime is a super busy time in 4-H. A lot of people think that we kind of slow down a little bit, but we actually get really ramped up with a lot of our competitions, contests, camps, leadership programs, a little bit of everything. So some of these members here today have been involved in some of those contests and events over the past few weeks, just since school got out. So we're going to talk to you a little bit about that. 4-H is a youth development organization. To be a member, you'll be in 3rd grade all the way through 12th graders in high school. So that fits a lot of different people, different activity levels, and things that you can be involved in. What we're going to talk about first, really quickly, we're going to let these members introduce themselves a little bit more. We're going to talk about the 4-H club that they are in, how many years they have been in 4-H, how old they are, and what projects that they do. So Sydney, if you can tell us the name of your 4-H club, tell us how long you've been in 4-H, how old are you, and what are some of the main projects or activities that you do in 4-H?
Okay, well, hi, my name is Sydney. I'm in the Montgomery County Dog Club. This is my 8th year, well, going on 9th year of 4-H. I am involved in photography, and my main one is food challenge, or food nutrition. So I compete with that. I compete with food challenge and Duts to Dazzle. But yeah, that's my main ones.
All right. So JC, tell us a little bit more about yourself. What 4-H club are you a member of?
Hi, I'm JC. I'm a member of the 4-H Dog Club, so that's my main project. But I also do food and nutrition as well with Sydney, but dogs is like my main deal.
Good. How long have you been in 4-H?
I just completed my 3rd year. Next year will be my 4th.
Okay. And how old are you?
I'm 15.
All right. Moving on to Miss Gracie. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, again, I'm Gracie. This is my 9th, going on 10th year in 4-H. I'm 17, and my main projects this year so far have been the horse shows, Dog Project. I'm a part of the Montgomery County Dog Project as well, these two lovely girls. And also I've done food challenge, heifers, steers, and dabbled a little bit with food and photography as well.
Okay, good deal. So Dean, tell us a little bit more about yourself and your 4-H career.
Well, hello, my name is Dean Holkamp, and I'm 12 years old, and I am from the Montgomery County Horsemanship Club, and I have served for 3 years, and my two main projects are my horse project and my dog project with my puppy named Ruby.
Awesome. So we'll probably get to talk about that a little bit more. And some of you guys are also officers in our Montgomery County 4-H Council. So Dean, tell us a little bit about County Council. What officer position do you hold this year?
Well, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe I am second vice president in the district. And it's really fun to do because we all come and talk about what we're going to do for the rest of the year and talk about stuff that's coming up and fun things to do, and we have a good time talking.
Okay. And this last year you were parliamentarian
Yes, ma'am.
for County Council. What's one of your most favorite things at County Council?
Well, my favorite thing about county council is just being there, just learning about responsibility and learning to be a better person and learning how to take challenges to a whole nother level.
Awesome. So Sydney, you're also an officer in Montgomery County 4-H Council. Tell us what some of the things that you like about County Council.
Well, I am treasurer this year, and I really just love how we have like guest speakers come in and talk about career opportunities and like what their career is and like what they did to get there. So like high schoolers know what to be doing, like getting good grades and stuff like that and applying for scholarships to be able to like have that career. And I also love the community service projects that we come up with because it's like all really useful, and I don't know, it's just, I love it. I just love everything about it.
Good. So County 4-H Council, we have those meetings once a month, and that is when members from all of the 4-H clubs in the county come together and have a meeting with all of the members from the clubs. So there may be certain representatives from each club. In Montgomery County, we have over 20 different 4-H clubs. So we're a pretty large county program. Almost anywhere in Montgomery County, you can find a club that's not too far from you with different interests, different membership numbers, different projects that members are participating in. So that's when we come together once a month for a County 4-H Council. So we're going to talk a little bit about some programs that happened over the summer. One of those, we had our District 4-H Horse Show, and that was actually held in Brazos County. And some of the members here participated in that or also participate in the horse project. So Dean, do you want to tell us a little bit about the horse show?
Well, it was a really fun day, and well, one of the activities that I did was the breakaway, and that was my favorite one because, well, I started out roping it, and I almost had it, but I didn't let go of it because I didn't feel it was good, and the calf almost went to the other side, but then I cut him off before he could go to the gate. So then he went all the way back to the pen at the very start, and then finally came out, and then I finally had a chance to rope it, and I did at the last second.
Good. So you did pretty well in your class, didn't you?
Yes. And not to brag, but I was the only one who caught one, and I was very lucky because the last one had a chance, and it was really close, but she just barely missed it, and I got the buckle.
Awesome. Congratulations. That's really cool. Gracie, I know that you're also involved in the horse project. Tell us a little bit about one of your new leadership opportunities with the horse project that you're taking on.
So this year will probably be my 7th year doing the horse project. I do it on the side as well as in 4-H. However, this year is going to be the first year that I did not participate in the District 4-H Horse Show, and I won't be participating or competing in the State 4-H Horse Show in Abilene. However, this year I got the opportunity to become a horse ambassador, equine ambassador for Mike Heimer, and I'm going to get to go up there with Abilene and stay a couple of days at the Texas State 4-H Horse Show and help taking scribes, so that's writing down the points, being a runner. I get to hang out with the judges and learn from them, and also get to help out the kids. So I'm really excited. It'll be my first time not showing. We'll see how this goes.
Well, that's neat, though. You'll get some more leadership, being able to do that, and serving as an ambassador is a pretty big deal. So that's something to really be proud of. Okay, So another thing that we had this summer was our state 4-H Roundup, and that happens over a couple of days. It takes place on the campus of Texas A&M University in College Station. That's when 4-Hers from all across the state get to come together and compete in contests that they've been working on all year. There's also a lot of workshops. At nighttime, there's a dance, there's a concert, there's a kickoff event. There's all kinds of things that members can be involved in during State 4-H Roundup. We had a really good, solid Montgomery County group that got to participate. A lot of those contests they had to pre-qualify for at an event for our district before then. So they placed well at the contest at district, got to advance onto the state contest. So how many of you here participated in State 4-H Roundup? Sydney did?
Yeah, I did.
All right.
I did as well.
And JC and Gracie got to participate in that. Just JC. Okay. Tell me real quickly, because we're about to head on to a quick break, what contest did you do at State Roundup?
We did food challenge. We were on the same team together. So, yeah, it was really fun. We ended up getting what was it?
We had the bread and cereal
Yeah.
category, so we ended up making a pasta with beans and a tomato sauce on top. So, yeah, and we placed, I want to say, 7th out of 6 out of 12.
I think it might have been 7th, but I think it was 6th. It was somewhere around there, but it was a really great experience, like, getting to interview with, like, judges on a state level, and just, like, an honor to be there.
Mm-hmm.
What was the hardest part about that process? Because, I mean, that's challenging. That's a hard competition. And I love to cook, but I don't think I could do that very well.
I would say the hardest part is, like, you have to know everything behind the meal. You can't just, like,
Oh, yeah.
know how you prepared it. You have to know my plate, like, the nutrition context, levels. And you have to relate that back to you and, like, your age group.
And when we got into there, we had, like, practiced all year, and we got into there, and they were like, okay, guys, and they were asking us these questions, and we're like, we didn't prepare for this, like, we haven't done this.
We were so nervous, so we, like, just felt every question much harder than we normally would have.
One of the girls in our team, her mom is, like, the leader for the whole food challenge project in our club, and so she, like, knew literally everything, and so they would be like, oh, yeah, well, how can you, like, reduce sodium? And she would, like, come out with, like, a bunch of facts, and we're like, go, Kayla, yeah. But, I mean, yeah, it was just knowing everything, really.
You have to, like, remember every little detail.
Exactly.
And, like, because you're so nervous, it, like, when they ask you a question, you're like, I know this, but you can't, like, your brain can't pull it out when you ask for it.
And, like, half of the teams have been there before, and it was, like, no, I think it was, like, our second time. It was my first time going there, but it was Kayla's second time, and JC's first time, so we got there, and all these teams were so experienced, and we're like, oh, no.
They looked so professional.
Yeah, definitely.
We were here T-shirt and jeans, and we're in, like, the full, like, chef outfit with the little hats,
They had, like, everything embroidered with, like, their names and everything, and we're like, well, we're going to try.
They did really well. Tell briefly, how much time do you have in the food challenge?
40 minutes.
Yeah, I want to say
And,
40
yeah.
minutes to prepare.
So Kayla, she would set the time for about, what was it?
She gave us 5 extra time for, like,
No,
a
it was
little
like
buffer.
it was 10 minutes. Well, you have 5 minutes to plan everything. So it's like getting your table clean and figuring out what dish you're gonna do and like who's gonna do what. And like before that, we had already decided which portions each of us were gonna do. Like I did nutrition. Like I have always done that because I have like a lot of experience in it. And then JC ended up doing
Food
right?
safety.
Yeah,
food
well,
safety,
food safety.
and the way we, like, did our project. or
Yeah,
whatever.
and then we had like 30 minutes to do it, and Kayla wanted to have like a lot of time to just like prepare, and we like to rehearse before we go into there. And so we like had 30 minutes to cook, and then like at the end of it, we're like, well, we still have to cook this stuff. We can't just put it raw. And so we were like trying to flip it, and they're like 2 minutes, and we're like, oh no. And so, but yeah, they give us, I think it was 40 minutes, but yeah.
And it's called Food Challenge for that exact reason.
Exactly.
It's like
40 minutes cooking something from start to finish. They have no idea what ingredients they're going to get until that timer starts. They've got to get it ready, get their presentation, do all the nutrition facts, figure out the cost per serving, and then go and give a presentation to judges. But it's a lot of fun because it's super fast paced.
Yeah, definitely.
You get to work as a team and that element of surprise.
And I think we all just really like cooking and stuff. So it was, and we all just like love each other. Like we're all just like a huge not huge, but like we're all just like a big family. So it's like going in there with like your best friends and being like, let's cook something, you know? So it's great. But then like when it gets down to it, we can all like be professional. So I think that's what got us like to have second place in district, because we had a lot of like really tough competition. But I think we just like pulled through because we work really good as a team, and we like prepared for it so far in advance.
Good deal. Well, we're going to hear a little bit more when we come back from a quick break from the Extension Hour on Lone Star Radio.
Hey, this is Dick Schissler, your favorite morning radio host on Mornings of Lone Star on Lone Star Community Radio. You're watching RC TV right now, and I want to remind you I have my own show here on RC TV every Friday morning at 9 a.m. and every Saturday morning at 10 a.m., highlighting all the interviews I do live on Mornings with Lone Star. So check me out, bookmark it, do whatever you need to do. Watch Mornings with Lone Star every Friday morning at 9 a.m. and every Saturday morning at 10 a.m. More information can be found at irlonestar.com. And this is Dick with Mornings with Lone Star.
Don't forget to download the Lone Star Community Radio app for your Google Play or Apple Store. Bring Montgomery County's community radio with you anywhere with your smartphone or tablet. If you are in the Conroe area, tune in on FM. That is Conroe's FM 104.5, 106.1.
The Texas A&M AgriLife Extension service has been dedicated to educating Texans for over a century. In 1915, the Extension program was established under the federal Smith-Lever Act to deliver university knowledge and agricultural research findings directly to the people. Ever since, AgriLife Extension programs have addressed the emerging issues of the day, serving diverse populations across the state. Texans turn to Extension for solutions in horticulture, agriculture, 4-H and youth, and family and consumer sciences. Extension agents respond not only with answers, but also with resources and services that result in significant returns on investment to boost the economy. Join us Fridays at 1 o'clock for the AgriLife Extension Hour. Welcome back to the Extension Hour on Lone Star Radio. Today we're talking about some 4-H events and things that we've had going on over the summertime. If you're ever interested or want more information about your Montgomery County 4-H program, you can always give us a call at 936-539-7823 extension number 3, or you can also find us online at AgriLife, that's AgriLife.org/Montgomery 4-H. And also, if you're ever interested in sponsoring the Extension Hour, please contact Lone Star Community Radio. So we're going to go back real quick. We just finished talking about our state 4-H Roundup that happened back in June, just not too long ago. So we had some really cool contests going on there. And we had some members that got to participate in Food Challenge, as well as some other things. We did have a really great showing for Montgomery County. And we also had some scholarship recipients from our county. We had some members that ended up walking away with over $50,000 in scholarships to go towards their college career. That's something that these members work for throughout their 4-H career, so we were super proud of those recipients. Something else that we're going to talk about for a little bit, another event that we just wrapped up just this past week, actually, was our state 4-H dog show. That event happens in Bell County, in Belton, at the Bell County Expo Center. And I serve on the state 4-H dog show committee. We also have members here that, as you heard a little bit earlier, are involved in our Montgomery County 4-H Dog Club, and they are involved in the dog care and training project. So we're going to talk a little bit about the dog show and the dog project kind of in general, what you can be involved with. And remember, in 4-H, these young people are 8 years old and in the 3rd grade all the way through high school. So no matter what age you are, as long as you meet those 4-H requirements of membership, being in the 3rd grade, you can participate in these projects. So don't think that just because the young people that are here today are teenagers, if you have an 8 or 9 year old at home, they can participate as well. So we're going to talk a little bit about the dog show. So from Montgomery County, we had 7 members that participated, and they showed 10 dogs during the dog show. The whole show had over 100 entries, but for Montgomery County, we had 7 members that participated. So I'm going to ask JC and Gracie and Sydney too a little bit about the dog project. Dean says he's going to get involved in the dog project also. So if you want to talk a little bit about what the events are specifically at the dog show, and then we'll talk a little bit about what y'all do in the county. Okay? So if y'all want to tell us a little bit about the events?
Well, it was a great year this year. I think our actual county had a little bit less than usual. We had some last minute pullouts, but it was great. Let's see, I had 2 dogs this year, and so did JC. I had a little Papillon, she's 4, and my Australian Shepherd, who's about to turn 5 as well. It was a great, great year. We had lots and lots of fun. I think so many more counties. I've seen so many kids that I've seen over the years come by. They started out pre-novice A, first class you can be, and then all of a sudden they won their 3rd level class, and they were so excited, and you could see just the joy light up on their face. And it was really nice to see not only the change in the kids as well, but the maturity and almost the skill level of the dogs improve as well. It was really great to see. And JC had a lot of success this year. Why don't you tell us about that?
So, I was very blessed this year. I was really lucky to receive 3 big awards. So I competed with my 2 dogs. Melody, she's a 7-year-old Siberian Husky Labrador Retriever mix, and then my new puppy Finn, he's an Australian Shepherd. He's just turned 1. I was really lucky to receive Best in Show non-purebred with Melody, Best Junior Handler as well with Melody from Showmanship, and then because I received those 2 big awards, I also won Senior High Point.
That was such a cool thing, because JC, it's a great thing about 4-H versus some of the harder associations having to do with dogs, because like Caroline said a minute ago, it doesn't matter your age, but it also doesn't matter the type of dog. JC won a high point with her mixed breed dog, as well as she did very well with her brand new puppy Australian Shepherd. So it doesn't matter if you have a Papillon, like a full bred, nice, little cute dog, or if it's a dog that you went and picked up from the rescue and you gave a loving home. You can work with any dog. And as long as they're 8 months, you can have them as a puppy. And Melody, JC's dog, is 7. There's lots of opportunities there. So we had a blast.
That's the neat part, like what you just said, that you can have, if you have a dog at home, that you can start training. This is something you can do. It does not have to be, there doesn't have to be that much cost into that part. So you don't have to spend a whole lot of money. A big part, and something that y'all do in your club you can talk about, is going to the animal shelter and working with rescue dogs. There's also a foster dog part of the dog show as well. If someone is fostering a dog, they may not have had it the dog's whole entire life, but they're fostering it, and they can also participate in the dog show. Tell us a little bit about what some of the events are at the dog show. Like, for instance, what is agility?
Okay, so agility is basically it's basically like an obstacle course for dogs, like the easiest way I can explain it. So basically you go out there and there's a little course set up, and it's like there's 2 different types. So there's standard, which has like all the cool like stuff we call contacts, which is like the A-frame, where it's like the big, like you go up and then straight down, and then there's the tunnels and things like that. There's that, and then there's also jumpers, which is just plain jumps. So you go out there and you see the course, and it's like a bunch of jumps and like obstacles that set out for your dog to do. So it's a lot of fun. Like most kids think it's their favorite thing to do because it's more fun, and the dog just enjoys it. Melody, she kind of blows me off. She just runs around and does her own little thing because she just loves it. So yeah, that's kind of basically what agility is.
And it's great about agility too is a lot of the big dogs love it as well. They get to jump 18 inches, 20 inches, but then you get to see these really small, like sometimes they're puppies, but sometimes, let's see, there's a couple of dogs that are mixes that are so cute and so fast. They go in there and the kids are having to run as fast as they can to catch up with them. Then you have the little prissy dogs who are going in there and jumping 8 to 4 inches, and all that you can, there's so much hair on them you can't even see them jumping. And it's really cute because you have the kids who can walk and still catch up with their dogs. But then there's girls like JC and I who are having to sprint as fast as we can to catch up with these dogs. Mm-hmm. And the dogs just have a blast. It's so much fun.
It's really athletic, and it's as an observer, it's one of the most fun things to watch too, because it's super active. And a lot of people may have seen this on TV, like when you see dog shows on TV and you see what it looks like an obstacle course going through. So like for the crowd, it's really fun to watch too, and just kind of see how athletic both the dog and the handler are. So that's pretty cool. I like to watch agility. It's always really fun to get to see that. Tell me a little bit about Rally.
So Rally is a competition where you have multiple signs spread out across the pen, and there's different maneuvers on each sign, kind of like when you have to obey the stop signs on the road. When you see a stop sign, you stop. There's things like that. The dog has to sit when you stop, an automatic sit. There's little maneuvers like there's a set of cones, and you have to weave the cones a certain way, a certain number of times. There can be, in the higher levels, there are just 1 or 2 jumps maybe. The dogs have to spin around when you tell them. It's kind of like a maze. And the signs tell you where to go and how long to do it. It's really fun. And if the score is tied up, it's also timed. So a lot of times, if you can get your obstacles down very well, the faster you do it, the higher chance you have of placing higher.
Good deal. Tell us, you can maybe even combine this part a little bit, conformation and showmanship.
Okay, so conformation and showmanship, conformation is based on the way the dog looks, and showmanship is based on how well you show your dog. So basically, conformation is, you go into the ring and you stack your dog. That's basically you put their feet to make them look the best they can look. And the judges will come over them and examine you and have you gate your dog around the ring. And showmanship is similar, but they also ask you questions about how to care for your dog, for example, or how you groom or take care of your dog, or questions about the body parts of a dog. So a lot of these things come into play when you're in showmanship, and it's also about how well you move your dog, how well your dog responds to you, the bond you have, things like that.
So we had a really cool set of judges this year. Tell us a little bit about the judge that was in one of the rings, and I think one of y'all were in there, when he was asking you questions one-on-one. What did he ask you?
Personally, I was asked, I know some of the other kids in my class were asked how they groom their dogs because their dogs had longer hair. But he also asked me what 4-H, like how I could talk to his child about 4-H and to get him more involved in like what 4-H means to me. And personally, I just talked about how it's been a big confidence boost. Like I came from like not being able to talk in front of my club to being the vice president and secretary to talking on like a radio show. Like that's crazy to me. So it's basically things like that I told him. So he asked like different questions to try and get you to like become like more invested with, I don't know how to explain, like invested in like what he was saying. Yes.
And I also know the same judge, he was a really sweet judge. He cared about us. He wanted to make sure that we weren't uncomfortable. And so one of the first introducing questions, he'd always ask you, what breed is your dog? Or what mixed breed your dog is. And I know we had several herding dogs, such as German Shepherds, Corgis, and lots of Australian Shepherds. After he would find the breed of your dog, like for me, he asked me, what was your dog bred to do? And different dogs have very complicated answers or very simple answers. Mine was pretty simple. She was bred to herd livestock animals and to help people who herd the livestock animals, I guess. Versus like a Labrador Retriever, they're more complicated. They're supposed to jump off a boat in Labrador and go fish, and their coat is supposed to help them stay warm. So a lot of the kids you could see knew their dogs, and they were confident, and they gave this 5-minute spiel about what their dog does. And there's some other kids whose dog is, pretty easy. They're very simple, and you can kind of get it over with and go on to the next question. So he was a really great judge. He made all of us very comfortable.
Yeah, he was really cool to watch, and I was excited that he asked you guys those questions, and he pointed up to the stands and said, "There's my son sitting up there. We're very brand new, don't know anything about 4-H yet, really, besides this. What would you tell him about joining 4-H?" So on our side of it, I was super excited that he asked that. So it was really neat to watch. Well, we'll be back shortly after a quick break. We're going to talk a little bit more about the 4-H Dog Show.
Lone Star Community Radio is looking for those who are interested in hosting their own talk show. With monthly and weekly slots available on Conroe's FM 104.5, 106.1, and on irlonestar.com. Start your own podcast, create your first YouTube channel, and be on TV. Contact Lone Star Community Radio online at irlonestar.com or call the message line at 936-647-3776 to take your first step into the radio world.
La 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 la. Oh, Grandma, what big ears you have.
All the better to hear the Cindy Cochran Show with my dear.
Monday through Friday mornings, 10 a.m. to 11, exclusively on Conroe's FM 104.5 and 106.1. Simulcast globally on irlonestar.com.
Listen, if you dare, to Real Reality Radio, the Cindy Cochran Show.
Lone Star Community Radio is ready for the summer. If you or anyone you know is looking for summer internships, Lone Star Community Radio is a great place to learn the radio and TV business. Contact the station at info@irlonestar.com or call the station's message line at 936-647-3776. Lone Star Community Radio offers a great opportunity to those interested in learning about the radio world.
Hi, welcome back to the Extension Hour on Lone Star Radio. My name is Caroline Cruz, and I'm joined here this Friday afternoon with some 4-H members. We just talked a little bit about the State 4-H Dog Show, and there's a couple of more really cool things we want you to hear about the dog show before we kind of move on into our next topic. So we talked about some of the different events that take place. We talked about agility. We talked about rally. We talked about confirmation and showmanship. Tell us a little bit about something that may kind of come to mind when you think about dogs too, is obedience.
Well, obedience is one of the things that almost is the first thing that comes to everybody's mind, because everybody wants a good dog. Everybody wants a dog who comes and sits when it sits, and comes when you say come. From across the dog park, or you don't want them pulling on you when you're walking down the street. It's something that every dog owner wants to have. So in the obedience in the 4-H group, we teach obedience from the puppies or the older dogs. It's very easy to teach. It's not super complicated. We have certain levels that we teach, and you can kind of grow in that. We have practices weekly. You can work with your dog at home. It's something that's not very complicated. It's not as scary as everybody seems.
Tell us a little bit about drill and what that is.
Okay. Drill was so much fun. JC and I got to be in a Michael Jackson edition of Thriller, which was so much fun. We got to dress the dogs up in zombies. We got to shred our clothes. I made everyone look like ghosts. And JC got to do it with her older dog.
So yeah, we also for drill you can do classic, where you just like wear your club t-shirt and do the requirements. But here in Montgomery County, we like to do it like a little bit different. So we made sure to have the props and costumes and things like that. So even went as far as like making fake tombstones with our and our dog's names on it, and we came around the corner at the start of the music. And drill is just like one of the more fun things you can do, because it's kind of just like a dance routine combined with obedience. And it's a lot of fun because you do it to the music, and you get to have props and costumes and
crazy makeup and things like that. Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
It's funny because Montgomery County, we have a bunch of kids who we're not afraid to look silly. And it's always fun in the middle of your dance routine, and you look up and you see the judges trying not to laugh so hard. And then you see the other kids in the audience just laughing and videoing. It's a lot of fun. And the dogs tend to have fun too. My dog, personally, she got kind of tired of having to sit behind the tombstone. She wanted to go out and play with the other dogs when it wasn't our turn. But it's fun. It's really exciting.
So it's like a choreographed routine, but you're there with your dogs doing kind of in sync, doing something synchronized together.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And also within the dance routine, you have to have kind of disguised obedience. So sometimes you have a sit stay while some of us leave and go do a dance, but then we have to come get our dogs and tell them to get back into heel position so we can go and do a figure 8 with 8 kids, which is interesting because the dog has to stay with you no matter how fast or how slow you're going. So one minute you're racing around a corner and the next minute you're having to slow down because another dog is coming at you 5 miles an hour. You know, it gets interesting.
That's something else that's really fun for people there to watch. Really fun for the audience to see because, like you mentioned, it's more laid back. You can get super creative. You kind of have free reign, where in the other classes you're participating in, you know, it's time to pull it together and we've got to get this done. In drill, you can put it to different types of music. You kind of get to choose what you do and how far you want to push it with your costumes, with the decorations, with the things that you're doing. So it's kind of where your personality as a team really comes out. And it's super fun to be in the audience for that and watch that. Something else that's fun, tell us about costume really quick, what the costume contest is.
So costume contest is basically from your county show until the point you go to state. Most people like come up with their costume idea and then start working on making it from there. So personally, I had 2 dogs this year, so I was Cat in the Hat and I had Thing 1 and Thing 2. And that was my favorite personally from the 3 years I've already done it. But it's a lot of fun because like Miss Caroline said, you get to show like your personality and it gets to be like more fun and more laid back because it's not serious and people like to watch costume because there's all these different ideas and all these cool like cool representations of people, and the dogs tend to not like wearing tutus and leggings, so they like to make a fool of themselves around the ring. So that's one of the more fun things as well, is costume.
It's also really fun because you have the bigger dogs who cannot stand to wear a tutu and have makeup on and have a hat on, but then you get it's a challenge because you have a big dog, and then I have a small dog who I have found is so much easier to do costume with. I literally just stuck her in a bag with a bunch of blow-up fish and put a wetsuit on and had like scuba fins and a scuba mask, and she was like a fish I had caught. So it was kind of fun. I remember one of our friends, he had a dog house and put his little small beagle and made it into Snoopy. And what's the little bird?
He was Charlie Brown.
He was Charlie Brown. So, and he got to roll around this little house with his dog. So, you know, it's fun because you have the big dogs who are dressed up themselves and they are like the star of the show. And then you really get to use the size and personality of your dog. And it's very fun and very original.
Mm-hmm. One that I saw that was kind of cool was a girl. She was dressed as Forrest Gump, and she had built a shrimp boat off of a wagon, and it was completely it was so neat. It looked like a shrimp boat that she had made, and of course on the side of it it said Jenny, and her dog was the shrimp that she had caught. So she had a small dog, and whenever the judges are walking around and it came to her part, I could hear her talk to the judge, and she was like in complete Forrest Gump mode. Like she talked like Forrest. She said the things that he says in the movie. So like she really was invested in their costume category. So it was really cool to see that. That's something else that where you kind of get to show your personality and make it kind of have fun with it. And I'll tell you, that's almost one of the hardest things to judge is the costume competition, because there's so much just fun things to look at. You get to see the hard work that everybody put into it. So it's really cool. I think we've covered almost everything with the dog show. I want to talk a little bit about some of the service projects that you guys do with your club.
Well, I know Sydney, for one, is a big community service. She's always doing something for community service. So why don't you tell us about that?
Well, I don't know what you're talking about. Well, I mean, not all the time. I would love to do it all the time. I'm currently looking for more volunteer opportunities, but with my church, we've been going down to the Conner House of Prayer, which is actually a couple doors down from this, I think. And so we just go, and we get to go and worship with the homeless people that come there, and then we get to listen to their little sermon. They have a 30-minute sermon. And then after that, we serve them breakfast and just go around and talk to them. And I think it was last week. Well, no, it was June 25th to 30th, I'm pretty sure. And we went and we got to go to New Orleans. And each day we would start with a Bible study, and then we would go and we would make care packages with T-shirts and socks and water and bananas, and we'd go and give it to all the homeless people that we saw on the streets of Bourbon Street and stuff like that. So that was really cool because they all were so nice, and it was it really made an impact on just New Orleans, because people that were walking around, whenever they would see us, they'd be oh yeah, I saw you yesterday, keep doing what you're doing. And so it was really, I guess, inspirational and encouraging. And then after all of it, we ended up bawling our eyes out the night before we left, because we didn't want to leave, because I don't know, these people are just such good people, and they might have made mistakes in the past that got them to where they are, but a lot of them just keep moving forward, and they're telling us stay in school, do this, do that, just keep on doing what you're doing, just keep going. And so it's it was really cool to see how many lives were changed, and some people last year ended up giving their life to Christ and stuff like that. And so it was really cool. And there was this guy that remembered me from one of the days, and he was telling me oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm seeing you again, this is so cool, because he had been at one of the missions that they have there, and he you can stay overnight. And then we ended up seeing him on the road, and he was just again keep doing what you're doing. And so it was really cool. But yeah, now we're just my main focus right now is just working with homeless people and the women's shelter and all that. But yeah.
Well, I know that I just now started a new one. It's on 1488. It's called Mercy House, and JC does it too. She's heard of it. And it's a volunteer place. You can come in anytime, 9:30 to 12:30, and it's this place where they have they help women from the side Haiti, Uganda, I think Mexico, so many African countries and Latin America countries. And they make things and ship them over to America, and we get to sell them. And you can box them up. You go in the back and you look at somebody's order, and you take the 5 things that they got. They can either be 2 Haitian bracelets and a Ugandan necklace. And as a volunteer, you get to box it up and package and send it. Or you can go on the online days and help with the website and do it. And it's really fun. And the women there have so much fun, and you feel. You just get this joy that comes from helping people, because not only are you helping the women in the third world countries, but you're also giving this little piece of joy to whoever's buying them. Definitely. And whoever's giving money.
You don't, whenever you're doing it, people do it for good college resumes and stuff, but I know for me, I definitely don't do it for that. I know Gracie and JC, none of us here do it for that, but we do it to it just, it gives you a sense of joy and peace, being wow, I helped someone who, maybe couldn't help themselves because of the situation that they're in. So it's really cool. And yeah, it does bring a really big joy.
Well, we'll be back after a quick break, and we're going to hear about some of Dean's service projects. We'll be right back.
Hey, Montgomery County, it's me, C.C. Holmes. And I would personally like to take this time to invite you, that's right, you, to join me every Saturday and Sunday from 3 until 7 p.m. Well, I will bring you the very best of smooth jazz, classic jazz, and indeed, yes, the soulful sounds of the 60s, 70s, and 80s. So come along and get jazzy with me. That's right, jazzy. Right here, of course, on Conroe's 104.5 and 106.1 FM, or worldwide at irlongstar.com.
A Lone Star Community Radio is looking for those who are interested in hosting their own talk show, with monthly and weekly slots available on Conroe's FM 104.5, 106.1, and on irlonestar.com. Start your own podcast, create your first YouTube channel, and be on TV. Contact Lone Star Community Radio online at irlonestar.com or call the station message line at 936-647-3776 to take your first step into the radio world.
Attention movie lovers, The Ticket Stub is a new radio show servicing Montgomery County that is meant for you. The Ticket Stub is available live every Thursday at noon on FM 104.5 and 106.1, as well as anytime on irlonestar.com. Connor and Dick will let you know what's coming out in the theater, what is worth streaming, and what's going on in the world of film. The Ticket Stub, your home for movie talk.
On the Extension Hour here on Lone Star Radio. We're kind of scooting towards the end of our program today. We've been talking with some Montgomery County 4-H members. What we've been talking about are some of the community service and other type of projects that the members are involved in. So we're going to hear from Dean, and he is going to tell us about a project that he's involved with and that his family is involved in also. So tell us a little bit about the event that you help with.
What I help with is a place called Special Angels Rodeo, where special needs children can go and have a fun day playing around and having fun activities such as riding a hayride, jumping in a jump house, and even riding in a horse and so on. And next year we're going to have it on March 11th, 2018, and it will be our third annual one. And originally, for the past 2 years, my sister has been doing it, but now she's graduated and she's now in ATM in college right now. So I'm going to take her place next year and be the chairman for it. And what our main goal is to keep all our food and extra bonus, like gift bags, for example, stuff for free, and everyone can go, and it doesn't cost even a penny, and it's a fun place to go. But the only problem is that we need more sponsors, and some of the sponsors we have are the Super Kroger in Willis and the Conroe Feeder Supplies, and also the Willis Lions Club that really helped us with like the little buck and barrel horses, that you pump up and down to make it seem like the kid's actually being bunked on a real horse. And it seems like real fun, but I've never really been on one, And if you want to be a sponsor, just call us at the Montgomery County District Office. And it'd be a really good help for us.
So could you also use volunteers for that?
Oh, yes. And, what we do with volunteers is that for some, we call lots of people from our club to help group special needs children with the volunteers, so they can have a little buddy to go with around so they won't get lost or anything. And also, any special needs children from anywhere can come and have a good time, and they don't even have to be from Texas. They can come from California, from all I know, and it's been a pretty good 2 years so far, and I'm just hoping that the third annual one will be good. And just remember, it's March 11th, 2018.
And that'll be down at the Montgomery County Fairgrounds.
Yes.
And so, like what Dean said, to participate in the Special Angels Rodeo, there's no charge. There's not a fee to come out and do that. So that's a really neat thing for families. If you have a child that has special needs and you're looking for something like this, if you want to volunteer, it's also a really neat thing to come out and volunteer. And like what he mentioned, they're also looking for sponsors so that this event can remain free to the special needs students to come to. So it's something really neat. Keep that date on your calendar. And I'm sure that we'd appreciate some sponsorships, volunteers, and just to help spread the word that this is available through schools, through your church, through other organizations you're in, to kind of help get the word out, because we really need to have more participants in the rodeo as well. So it's something really, really neat to be involved in. And again, it's free. Could also use some sponsorship and some volunteers for the day of the event. Right, Dean?
Yes.
Good deal. So we've been talking a lot about the summertime in 4-H. It's when things really ramp up for us. We're super, super busy. Everyone's going to and from contests, maybe to a camp. This coming up week, we have our District 4-H Leadership Institute. And we have 2 members from Montgomery County 4-H that have been selected to participate in that. So we have that coming up. Getting ready for our 4-H awards banquet. We just did our 4-H record books this week. So we had judging of record books. So all kinds of things that are going on. And also, the new 4-H year will start right after August 15th this year. And just as a reminder, Montgomery County has over 20 different 4-H clubs that you can choose from. You can learn about over 40 different projects in 4-H that you can participate in. You've heard about some of those today. There's projects such as photography, there's cooking, food and nutrition, there's dog care, veterinary science. Leadership is a huge part of 4-H. I think you can kind of understand that after hearing some of the things that these young people have been doing. Public speaking, science. Science is a huge part of 4-H, and almost every project has to do with science. Shooting sports is another one. The horse project, different livestock projects, gardening, theater arts, and so much more. If you can think of an interest, we probably have it somehow in 4-H. So if you are interested in that, you can always give us a call at your Montgomery County 4-H office. The phone number is 936-539-7823, extension 3. You can also find us online at AgriLife, AgriLife.org/Montgomery 4-H. And real quick, I think Sydney wanted to mention super quickly about her shooting sports project.
Yeah, my brother competed. I think it was it went through July 4th. I can't remember. I think it was actually it was right after my mission trip, so it was June 30th. I'm pretty sure to July 4th, and they qualified in March at I think it was the district one. So they shot really good at the district one, so they ended up qualifying for this one, and it was in Arkansas, and they had like a really young team. Like they were, I don't know, I think their average age was about 12, so it was like everyone from I think 9 to 13, I think it was. But then they were also competing against people that were 15 or possibly 16, most likely not 16 though. So yeah, they practiced a lot. They ended up trying their best. They had a written test, and they have 4 positions. I can't remember all of them. I think it's like prone, sitting, standing, and something else. But you have to shoot like really, really good because most of the people make like 100s and 98s to get really like just a place really high. So I'm pretty sure there were about 70 teams that competed. And I think we ended up being in the 60s because, again, they were so young. But they tried their best. And this was my brother's first year in 4-H, so it was really cool for him to get to nationals his first year. But, yeah.
Very cool. Well, as you can tell, our 4-Hers are super busy, being involved in things that they really like to do. You heard about their service projects that they do to help give back to their community. And 4-H is a family. So you, like she said, you get to travel to different things together, go to camps, just at your club meetings, doing your projects, your practices. So if you're looking for something like that, remember, give us a call at 936-539-7823, extension 3. Thank you for spending your Friday afternoon with us here on the Extension Hour at Lone Star Radio. Have a great weekend.
Lone Star Community Radio is Montgomery County's radio station with talk, music, weather, and traffic for Montgomery County. Have a question, comment about one of our shows? Want to know how to reach a host? Just contact the station on irlonestar.com or call in and leave a message at 936-647-3776. Get involved with your community with Lone Star Community Radio.
Thanks for checking out this podcast of Lone Star Community Radio, Montgomery County's community radio station. If you enjoyed this recording, make sure to check out our past shows online at irlonestar.com or their respective video or podcast formats on YouTube, Google Play, or iTunes. If you have any questions regarding the show, either it being about sponsorships or questions for the host, contact the station manager at dick@irlonestar.com or call the station at 936-647-3776. This show was recorded in downtown Conroe, Texas at the Lone Star Community Radio Studios, and Lone Star Community Radio reserves all rights to this recording and images.